Hello dear students, and welcome to the section inside which we are gonna finally talk about databases. Now this section begins by actually running your database locally. Now this is a crucial step. We need to have a database running locally, and we will be doing that through Docker. Now Docker is a software that can turn something called an image, which is a boilerplate on how to run a certain software like MySQL database or Postgres, inside an isolated environment on your operating system within an app called Docker Desktop. Such software will run inside container. This container is isolated from your system, and this means that this software does not run directly on your system, whether you have Mac or Windows or Linux, so there are no compatibility issues that might occur with different operating systems. Now I'll be explaining Docker in more detail in this section, but all you need to know is that there are images based on which there are containers, and there is software called Docker and Docker Compose that can run couple containers. That would be our example. We will be running both the database and database management tool. Now, later on, you will see how to connect to the database that we have started and is running inside the container. And we'll learn that in the Nest applications, we are using a database abstraction called TypeORM, which job is to abstract a database. Alright, so let's talk a little more about database abstraction and TypeORM. So in the ORM world, which by the way stands for Object Relational Mapping, we've got database tables. Every database table is mapped by a TypeScript class. Now based on this class, there will be an object which can be directly mapped to a table row from this database table. It's simple as this. So every class represents a table, every object created from that class represents a table row. We'll also learn about another type of classes called repository, which would let us load data from the database and store new data inside the database. Then at the later stage of this section, we'll learn exact techniques on how can we query the database, also providing some querying criteria. Now you don't need any database expertise to follow this section. Everything would be explained along the way as we go. Alright, so I'm very excited to begin this section. Let's begin by talking about Docker first.